You see the speeds there. You see this vehicle. As Marla said, possible parolee. We understand there are two people in this vehicle. Again, it began in East LA around 7:45 tonight, so it's not been going that long. You see law enforcement right there on the scene. Joining us live to break this down is our police expert, Tim Lynn. Tim, what do you make of this one?
It's our normal everyday pursuit that we have here in Los Angeles, but this one has that extra added bonus of a parolee at large inside. And the driving, as you said, was very extreme at the beginning. They attempted one pit maneuver and put damage on that vehicle you can see there on the left rear, but it also disabled a police vehicle as well. Apparently that police vehicle was left smoking behind, and they're checking on that officer. But right now it's looked like it's going to pick up the 60 freeway here as they continue out. It says west right now, but I believe it was on the eastbound side, working its way out. I'm looking at the radar, and it does show the track is to the east. So right now, LA County Sheriff's is staying with us. And one thing I'll note about this pursuit with LA County Sheriffs are really when they get a little bit too fast. But with the information they have on this vehicle, they're sticking with it. So that tells me that the person inside is a felony. He's wanted for some other major crime versus just a reckless DUI trying to evade, because most of the time they won't let the cars chase at that point and just have the air unit stick with it until it comes to a stop. But you can see it here, still continuing on this East 60 coming up on Valley. And this is up there as we continue on. Looks like he's pulling over to the right side, maybe taking the exit here. I believe this might be the 710 or the Valley, the area there. But right now, luckily, the speeds are down on the freeway here. No danger to other motorists in the area, but LA County Sheriffs will just stick with it until they can either hit the car or it finally disables and stops on its own.
Yeah, I mean, this is a much more less hectic scene right now than what we saw earlier. Tim, I know you were watching it along with us on those surface streets, literally weaving out, like threading a needle of some traffic on the city streets. It was really dangerous. So this is a better view, if you will. Nonetheless, still a danger to everybody on the road tonight, given a parolee at large, possible parolee at large, suspected reckless DUI driver as well. What does that add to this in terms of the danger, in terms of the strategy of bringing this to an end, knowing that it is a possible parolee?
It all depends on the information that they have and what the parole is. Now, a parolee at large is a person who's been paroled for a prison and has not reported or got in contact with their parole agent. And once they go into that status of parolee at large, it is a felony want, and they can be taken into custody. So now you have to determine what is the charges that had him in prison, had this person in prison. Was it a violent crime? Do they have other information of weapons in the car, or possible this person is always armed when he's running around? But it's all kinds of things that go on back behind the scenes in dispatch, along with the watch commander trying to pull intelligence on this person in the car. But to have the information of a possible parolee at large, and then the reckless DUI, that reckless DUI pretty much takes a back seat, because now they have a felony suspect that's probably a violent felony. So that's why they're sticking with it, because like I said, normally LA County Sheriffs will bail out. Now we're making all these turns now down in the East LA area here at the small streets. It's very crowded there, and now we deal with the cross traffic and also pedestrians in here. Even at this time of night, there's always folks out on the street. So maybe looking for something there, right there, weaving through cars just trying to park and making those turns without even slowing down. Possibly looking for a place to get out, go on foot, and get into an area they're familiar with, so they can run to maybe a safe house or some place that they know the people that live there, or maybe into their own residence, which normally doesn't happen. But a situation like this,
Tim, we're going to interrupt here.
You're bailing out.
Yeah, right here. So you see the vehicle just came to an immediate stop and now back in action. All right, we see that from time to time where they kind of hint like they're going to make a move. And keep in mind, too, there are two people in this vehicle. And, Tim, you have to wonder, was perhaps there a move to either let the passenger out, or are they at a location that was familiar to them and they were deciding what to do? But Whatever it is, this chase is back on. It started in East LA. It's back in East LA. Also, what do you make of that?
It's going back to familiar territory. You see, he's going down the same streets here again. He made the right turn and made another right turn. So maybe at a point like that, when he came up to stop there, the cars were a little bit too close and didn't feel good to get out of the vehicle, because what they want to do is try to put as much distance between them and the units behind to try to get a head start on running, but turning right back down the Hamel, the same street we were just on, weaving, going a little bit faster. So this driver is staying in an area that they're familiar with. You could tell just by circling these blocks. Also, this is causing people down to hear all this commotion in the neighborhood. And this might...
we got to run. We got a foot bail from the driver, now the passenger as well. And then there was staging already with those officers. So now the chase is on.
This person is pretty fast. Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Yeah. Yeah, they're running into this area here to where they're going to stay with this person here. This is the driver. He threw something out.
Was that a tase, a potential tase?
I don't know. I didn't see that part. I saw him put his hand in his waistband and come out in his right hand with something. And right here, running out of gas. Yep. I can't run anymore. I give up. There is a taser there out. So I don't know if that was a taser. I was more concentrating on his right hand that came out of his waistband as he was running and had it back. And I was hoping that wasn't a gun, that he was just going to start firing back.
Oh, yeah.
But the other person there, I don't know if they've got them there.
Yeah.
Do they have something?
Looks to be.
Yeah, have something, because they have two in custody. Looks like a kid.
Yeah, I was going to say, does that look like a child?
Or a small female.
Maybe a woman?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Obviously, they're detaining that person as well at the moment. Police did have a head start in the fact because they were out of their vehicle already when this driver decided to stop the car and make a run for it. So instead of having to pull up and stop the car, you had officers that were already on foot and able to chase this person down. What would it be like or feel like, do you think, Tim, to have an officer behind you with a taser?
If he hits you with it, it's not going to feel good. And nowadays, they practice in prison how to defeat that. But I would have to look at the policy and procedures. Some departments have policy procedure where you cannot shoot somebody running with a taser because of the possibility of injuries at the end. But this one here, where this came to an end, those officers were out on foot. They more than likely were going to try and set a spike strip. And right here, that's where his hand came out, and he kind of threw it to his hand. So if he threw something out, they may have something on the ground there. He may have ditched a weapon at that point. But we'll see. Hopefully they'll light it up, and then Skyfox will get a pretty good close-up of it. But I saw that right hand come out of his waistband. Something was in it. I immediately thought it may be a weapon, but it could have been, and he was just going to toss it. But we could find out here a little bit once Skyfox gets a better shot. But the officers, running from the street, there was more than likely a spike strip that was going to be set up to try to get him coming around that corner, because he was staying in the same box as he goes around the different right turns. And luckily, they were able to, start that foot chase, and the suspect running through these neighborhoods until he just basically ran out of energy, and it just came to a stop, luckily, peacefully at the end. And we'll have to figure out who that passenger was, if it was a small juvenile or maybe a small female. But luckily, everybody's in custody and nobody's hurt.
Yeah, coming to an end outside of what appears to be sort of a housing complex, apartment complex here in East LA, which is, by the way, where this started.
Well, Tim, also, I want to note that if this is indeed a possible parolee, you have to wonder what this person had been in prison for, in jail for, and how concerned law enforcement was that this person get away or get into somebody else's home or property or car.
Correct. That's what I was mentioning before. They were trying, if you're on parole, you've done state time, which is a felony. More than likely, with the way the officers were staying with the chase with the LA County Sheriffs, more than likely was a violent felony, and they had more information on that driver. I'd like to be able to go back and have the booth be able to go back and rack up to where he ran, but he pulled his hand out and had it to the side. And I'm just wondering if there was a shot fired at that point or not. But It definitely looked like something in his hand, and maybe at that point is where he threw the gun. That'll be an added case or added, parolee with a weapon. If he turns out to be the parolee, more than likely he is. And they could add that charge on. But as you're a police officer in a chase, you try to get as much information from the station about the person you're chasing so you can be ready to go at the end, because you don't know what you're chasing when you're behind it, other than a reckless DUI. Then they get the information on the parolee at large. More than likely it was a want on the license plate. Where they got that information from, but it sure turned into something different once that person got out and started running. So I'm really curious to see what he pitched away as he went down between those buildings.
We are curious too. We will certainly follow up. In the meantime, we're going to wrap it up here of this suspected DUI pursuit. It came to an end in East LA where it began. Tim Lynn, police expert, we thank you as always for jumping on. Good night. Good night to you. All right, moving on to this developing story at 8 o'clock. It's being called a freak accident in Van Nuys. A person hit and killed by a semi-truck in a grocery store parking lot. Good evening, everybody. We'll officially welcome you and let you know that you're watching LA Live News Tonight. I'm Marla Tejas.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Christine Devine.